Hello, I'm Wendy Wilson, and I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Realizing Potential. Today I have with me in the studio a gentleman who is very well known not only on Albany State's campus, but certainly throughout the Southwest Georgia community, and huge responsibility he has on his shoulders, but he does it very well. He is none other than Chief John Fields. How are you today?
I'm doing fine, Wendy.
Good, good. Yeah, we need to stop running into each other. This is pleasure to have you back on the show again. This time had an opportunity earlier today to learn about the personal side, the professional side of Chief John Fields. But you know, the reason that you're here is to ensure the safety and the overall well-being of, more importantly, our students first, and then faculty and staff. That's why we're all here, to make sure that our students are taken care of. And so you are responsible for that. We are starting a new semester. Preparing for that.
Yes,
what is that going to look like? We've had some changes as it relates to laws and policies on the state level, and a bill that was passed. And let's educate our students in particular how that is going to affect them.
Okay. As of July the 1st, this year, 2017, House Bill 280, the Campus Carry Bill, was passed. And what that is, if you are a registered licensed gun holder, not guns, not the long guns, but the handguns, you're able to carry a weapon in certain places on campus. It's important that everybody learn and knows that law, because there are stipulations that that you have to abide by that can get you in trouble if you're not following that the law. And you know what I was saying, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Now what we're going to do, we're going to do a lot of education pieces for our students when they come back. We had one workshop a couple weeks ago. I talked about House Bill 280. Then we had our alert training, teaching our faculty, staff, and students what to do in the case of a crisis or active shooter. I do want to say, I don't want people to panic because of this ruling, because we're already living in a society of people carrying guns anywhere. Anyway, because you probably just haven't noticed it, but people are carrying concealed weapons, some open.
Yes.
And you know, you go to the movie theaters, you go to the restaurants, they're there. And the previous law said that you can have weapons inside your car on campus. The new law says that you can carry weapons on campus. So some of the places that you can carry a weapon, you can carry them in classroom. But if there is a high school enrolled, and it has to be enrolled, somebody like a Move On Ready student, which we have a lot, it's up to the gun owner to go to the register office, not the police department, and find out if a enrolled high school student is in the classroom. They're not going to give you the name. They're not going to tell you who it is. They're just going to let you know if they're in the classroom. So if you have 4 classes, you want to carry your weapon in 4 classes, you need to ask about all 4 classes. Now, the register office, or whoever the designee is for that information, is not going to keep a tally on who comes and asks that. So if John Fields go to the register office and say, hey, in my 2 o'clock class, do we have any high school students that enrolled? They're not going to write my name down. The law says you can't do that. So you can carry your weapon in class. Faculty and staff cannot carry weapons in administrative offices. So let's say if a student goes for advisement, you can walk down the hallway, but you can't go inside the office. So that's another location. Sporting arenas, NCAA, our stadium, football stadium, inside our hyper gym, our basketball stadium, you cannot carry a weapon. So we want to make sure we encourage people, please don't try to sneak weapons inside the stadium, because we're going to be checking. Now, you can't have weapons inside the tailgating venue. So that's something new that we're really going to be monitoring.
Okay.
And so you will probably have some undercover officers. I don't expect anything to happen.
Sure.
We got more cameras focused that way. And the thing about it, we want everybody to make sure they feel safe and make sure that nothing does happen.
Right.
And those are some of the key places, and we have FAQs on our website.
Okay.
We're going to start sending out information on a regular basis. We're going to have a couple more workshops. We're going to have something over here and some over our Gainesville West Campus. So we're trying to educate. Now, let's say, for example, if you got out of your car window, you came inside the building, your weapon's not concealed.
Mm-hmm.
We're not trying to arrest everybody for making a mistake. What we're going to do is tell you, hey, you need to conceal your weapon.
Yes.
Now, if you don't comply with that,
Then
that's a criminal trespass warrant. That's not arresting you for not complying with the campus carry law.
Okay.
So we're trying to educate. We're trying to make sure people understand the law, because people make mistakes.
Sure.
And we all have that tunnel vision.
Yes.
That a lot of people have. So we want to make sure we educate.
Well, I know that you've always done that prior to this law being passed, and certainly I'm sure even more so in all the areas that again involve safety and securing and just overall well-being, and so that students, faculty, and staff can have a very the experience that we want them to have, as whether they're coming to earn their degrees or whether they're just coming to work every day. And I was listening to you in all the stipulations that you rattled off. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking it's easier for me to just leave it either at home. But I understand that everybody's not going to do that, because again, that's so what has happened is the onus then is on the gun carrier themselves. So you have to go and for each class, and we have a huge population of Move On When Ready students that are matriculating here, and to do that every semester for every class, and then if I need to go and conduct business.
The inconvenience.
Yes.
And faculty and or staff, the law is what it is. You can't add to it, you can't subtract.
Sure.
Subtract from it. Faculty cannot ask in their class if they see someone with a gun. They cannot ask if you are a licensed weapon permit. Law says you can't do that. So if they have a question about it, they need to call the police.
Right.
Law says that we can't ask if you're a license holder, but we can find out if there's a Move On Ready. If faculty knows there's a Move On Ready student, they just call the police department. We'll come in and tell this person what they need to do.
Right.
And let them know that, hey, you're breaking the law. Let's try not to let this happen again. Can't have weapons in the residence hall.
You cannot.
Cannot.
Okay.
So if and you think about it, if I'm a student, let's say I'm a traditional student, I'm 21 years of age, senior maybe, and I have a license permit. I can't take it in the residence hall, but I got it inside my car. What's the chances of me going to my car, just get my weapon, go to class, come back to my car, then go up to the residence hall?
Right.
So there's stipulation that, zero tolerance. It's going to be zero tolerance going to the residence hall.
Okay.
You can have a weapon in the student center.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and
we're in a new world, aren't we? Yeah.
The law says that only the 800 plus police officers that are in the USG can deal with the campus carry, meaning faculty, staff, and students, you cannot play police. So if Chief Hills is chasing somebody, I don't need you to have in your mind, I'm gonna go in my car, I'm going in to help Chief Hills, because when I get through dealing with this person, I'm gonna have to go deal with you because you just broke the law. Right. But on the other hand, your right to bear arms if you feel like there's an immediate threat, self-defense. Now, if somebody's on top of me and they're trying to shoot me or something, that's different. Right. But if you're trying to beat the police, you can't do that. Law says you can't do that. Yeah. And so, we want guns. Yes, I'm a firm believer of the Second Amendment, but you got to understand the consequences to that. And you got to understand the law. Every shooting, as police officers, as we go through, there's going to be a criminal investigation, automatic. And then 99.9% of the time, there's going to be a civil case coming behind it. Right. So you got to make sure that you articulate and you know the law when you do that. But you got to understand that what's going to happen after the fact, and your life is on blast. So it's good. It's a good right to have, but you got to be responsible. And guns don't kill people. People kill people with guns. So
Indeed.
You just got to be responsible.
You have to be responsible, right? I'm still stuck on somebody taking it upon themselves to assist you, and Officer Etheridge, as you all are dealing with someone.
I don't want you to shoot me.
Yeah,
trying to shoot because you're not covered.
Listen, all of that. I'm a huge Law and Order fan, but I don't ever, bring it into real life.
These are the things that I think about.
Right. Sure.
And the scenarios that go through my mind in the classroom, faculty and students, everybody packing. But I don't anticipate a large number of people carrying weapons on campus.
Okay.
It's been July the 1st. I haven't seen any, which is
great. If
they are on campus, the people are abiding by the law because we don't see them.
Very good.
So it's not like I said, we're already living in society right now with people carrying weapons. We just got to be cautious of it.
Sure.
Then if you have a weapon in your car, you're responsible for it. So you need to make sure your door is locked, make sure that weapon is secure. Because I guarantee you, people going to start be checking these cars, checking for weapons. That's what they're doing. So don't give them the opportunity to commit a crime. You'll be an accessory to a crime because you got your door unlocked, you got your weapon out. People are gonna go by looking in your cars. That's what criminals do.
See, you didn't even ask, Wendy, but I'm gonna volunteer it anyway. It would just be easier in my mind not to bring it at all. The stipulations are absolutely mind-blowing, and I understand the whole checks and balances piece of that. We have children or people under the age of 18. That comes with a level of responsibility. You have isolated environments within the environment, and so
But this shouldn't discourage you from wanting to be able to carry your weapon.
Okay.
Only thing is just be responsible.
Be responsible.
Because that's your right. The law, the Second Amendment and the law, the New Georgia law say you can't carry. So if you choose to do so. Just make sure you follow the law.
Sure.
As a police officer, we don't have an opinion one way or the other. We got to follow the law.
I understand.
And that's why we're educating. We're not trying to put people in jail because they forget.
Right.
I forgot to conceal my weapon. Because people gonna make mistakes. So that's the education piece, and that's when you have community-oriented policing. We're not out to try to arrest everybody. We just want everybody to be safe.
Right.
And follow the law.
Right.
So if you do that in the education by putting stuff on TV, putting the information out, being transparent, that stops a lot of miscommunication.
Well, Chief, let me add this out there, and I applaud all that you just said. I don't know that that's always the case. I'm very proud that we have a Chief John Fields and that you have the staff that works, and you constantly say that your priority certainly is safety, but second to that is to educate. And so I understand that you as young people or students, that's all a part of the development and the growth process. You're going to make some mistakes, and so we want to help you to navigate that. That's not always what the real world is like, though. So I love that they're in this nurturing environment, that they get an opportunity to experience that, not abuse it, but experience that, because that's not always the case.
It's not. It's not. And like I told you on our previous interview, we do a lot of training.
Yes.
And we do a lot of alert training, a lot of crisis intervention training.
Sure.
And that's to deter. But right now we're preparing for the what ifs.
Yes.
Because every day is something. And like I told you earlier, it depends on how you deal with the situation. Whether you're on TV for 5 minutes or you're on TV for 5 days.
I love that. I'm going to write you a check for that because I love that. Yeah. The decision is yours. 5 minutes or
5 days.
5 days.
So how we handle it. And you got to be transparent, and you just got to be upfront and open with people.
Right. And I like that because that transcends so many different facets of our lives. So making wise decisions.
And we want people to know we have our own crisis management team. As far as we do have active shooter, we can suit up like the SWAT team until the SWAT team gets here.
Yes.
Because if something happens, we got to go verify. We got to deal with the situation. We're going to have to deal with the situation in a timely manner. So that's what we train to do, and we're accountable. Can't stop everything because somebody plan on doing something. They're gonna do it. How far they get with that plan depends on how well trained we are, how we respond, and how well the faculty, staff, and students are trained.
Certainly.
And that's why we advocate. We always talk about our emergency number 4711, 4711. Call. come to these workshops, so you need to know what to do. If we do have an active shooter, things, the little small things like turn your cell phone down. Because your cell phone ring, if that person looking for somebody, guess what? They're going to hear your cell phone. Should I run? Should I hide? Should I fight? Those are the things that you're going to have to think about in that situation. And I can't make that decision for you. You got to make that decision for yourself.
Well,
And those are life decisions.
absolutely. I missed that class. I didn't know about the cell phone piece.
We talk about it all.
Okay.
And our
we
alert
get you
training.
to come out to Cordele and talk to the students out there. That's an excellent point. I hadn't thought about that.
And we
you
can
need
do
to
that.
Okay, very good.
We can do that.
Very good. So before we wrap up, let's go over that again. Tell us just in a nutshell what the bill entails and more importantly, the stipulations that are associated
House
with it.
Bill 280 entails any licensed weapon permit holder can have a weapon on campus. But there are a lot of stipulations that you as the gun holder have to find out and know for yourself. Cannot go in a classroom with a weapon with an enrolled high school student. Now here's another thing. If a high school student is working in that room, that classroom, they're not enrolled, you can. They have to be enrolled. Talk about talk on words, huh? Cannot have it in sports arenas. You can have it in the tailgating area. Cannot have it in the residence hall. Can't have the long guns, the shotguns, only handguns, and they must be concealed. And those, in a nutshell, that's the law. If you have any questions, call the ASU Police Department. You can call me personally, or you can call and ask into my office, because we're training and everybody's speaking the same language. Or you can go to the Board of Regents website, FAQs. You go to the ASU Police website, FAQs, that tell you and answer some of those questions that you may have.
Good. Well, I'm glad you gave those numbers out and those website addresses, because if they had to call Wendy Wilson, I would just say, make your life easier and don't bring it on campus.
Anybody, if you don't know, ask.
Yes, that's important. That's important. You certainly have always availed yourself. Wow. Okay. Well, a lot, and I know you will continue to do your part in terms of educating and getting around to the different forums and outfits that we have. Certainly, where our students are. Yep. Wow, that's a lot. And then we talked about the students. Go back before we wrap up, the faculty and staff in terms of us honoring the gun bill. Any different stipulations or the same?
Yeah, the same.
The same. Okay, very good.
And we're training everybody with the same information.
Okay, outstanding. Wow. That is why you're in law enforcement and I am not, sir.
Those are life choices.
Absolutely, absolutely. You do a great job at it. Thank you so much for joining me. Viewers, thank you for joining me for this edition of Realizing Potential. I'm Wendy Wilson, and I will see you next time.